Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the room, everybody. Come on in the room, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Everybody. Turn this down. There we go. Welcome, 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 everybody. Come on in the room. We got a few things we're going to talk about on tonight. I am Ada Brooks with Ada Brooks Consulting. I am your host with your weekly HR101 tips. We know this is Mother's Day weekend. Oh, and we are excited about what the weekend is going to bring. I want to say an early happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to my own mom, Miss Dorothy Jean Pondexter, and my grandmother, Miss Elvira Fobbs, to my grandchildren, their moms, and that is Miss Kelly, Miss Quaisha, Miss Harmony, and Miss Helen. Happy Mother's Day, ladies, to you for doing an excellent, excellent work. Also, if you missed um, this past weekend, I'm gonna do a recap of my weekend, just a little bit. Again, to Miss Camila Harris with Wild Fitness here in Little Rock. Congratulations on your book signing. Then you met Tim Campbell over on the gram. How are you? Thank you for joining me on tonight. She had an excellent, excellent book signing over this weekend. And also, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who helped wish my mom a 72nd birthday on yesterday. We're going to party like rock stars this weekend because, we for the month of May for my family, it's a lot of birthdays. So this weekend, we get to kick it off. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you guys are on, give me a, there we go. I can actually see now. Facebook do all the updates and everything. So sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what they're doing next. So I am answering emails and text messages as far as tonight. Our topic is grooming policy. And I know everybody said that is such a taboo policy, and a lot of people don't really like to touch base on that. But we're going to go ahead and answer a few questions that we had because some individuals felt as if it needed to be addressed. So, being that I work in HR and have many years of HR experience, we're going to talk about it just a little bit on tonight and kind of let you guys know what it is that we look for, why we talk about this grooming policy like we do, and dress code. That's because we want you to realize that you are a representation of the company. And there is a difference between the two when it comes to grooming and dress code, but they actually go hand in hand. And if you want to say, well, Miss Ada, you wrong, no, just go to your HR department and ask them if you can see their grooming and dress code policy. And I guarantee you they'll let you see it. But for my small business owners, if you do not have a policy, you may want to give ABC a call at 501-291-1650, or send us an email to abc@abchr101.com, and we will be more than happy to get with you so we can make sure that you have your policies up to date. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. There's a difference between the two. Now, when we talk grooming, we're talking about your hygiene. We're talking nails. We're talking hair. We're even talking makeup, um, the brushing of your teeth. Yeah, and unfortunately, we've had to deal with that a time or two. All of that goes with your grooming, your beards, your hair, your braids, the color, the whole nine. That all goes with your grooming. Now, you say, why do we talk about that? Because remember, you are a representation of the company. And depending on your position, it could be for sanitation reasons, bacteria. If you work in the hospital and you're a nurse, maybe you work in a long term care facility. All of this is considered under your grooming, can be sanitation purposes because your nails, they get dirty and they carry bacteria. If you don't have gloves on, which you should, um, your hair should be pulled back because even when I know the length of your braids, some people have them all the way down. You want to be mindful of that because guess what? If you're dealing with an outrage patient or maybe just an individual, they could pull your hair. Guess what? You've just given them a weapon. They pulling you. And now you've injured yourself, but at the same time, you have not followed the company grooming policy because oftentimes they tell you it can only be a certain length. We're going to talk about tattoos as well. So be mindful of that. So you want to be mindful of your hair length. They may ask you to pull it back in a ponytail. Don't get upset because at the same time they're looking out for you. Now, if they're picking on you particularly, specifically you, then that's something different. But if it's across the board, they tell everybody, hey, this is our grooming policy. You signed it, then they can hold you to that. They can actually write you up if they have to remind you more than once because you read the policy, you signed the policy, so you have to follow the policy. If you work in fast food, they're going to ask you to pull your hair back, probably put on a hairnet because guess what? You working in fast food, nobody wants hair in their food. So be mindful of that. If we want to talk about nails, they tell you at a certain length. And I know it's the style, it's the trend right now to have them out way out here. But guess what? They're thinking, how much work can you really get done if you're having to type? Because now your nails is come a distraction that you cannot get your work done or finish it. So they may ask you to cut them. They normally they say at an active length, more the professional length. Don't get mad. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just being honest with you guys. So be mindful of that as well when you're going to apply for applications, or maybe you already have a job, but your nails are stopping you from doing your job. They may ask you to cut them back. They can ask. So be mindful of that. Your hygiene, depending on where you work at. If you work in a factory, there's certain hygienes that there's a hygiene policy because your hygiene can affect the product. So they may say, hey, you need to go and take a shower or go and take care of yourself and come back. Don't get mad because you know what you smell like before you left the house. We're all adults here. Let's just take care of that. When it comes to our beards, if they want it groomed, me and I can't leave you all out too, sorry. But they want your beards to be groomed. It used to be, they used to say you had to be clean shaved unless it was for medical reasons. Then you had to bring a note if there was a reason why you couldn't be clean shaved. But nowadays they're a little bit more receptive to it. So, but they still want it groomed nicely. They don't want it bushy all out. Remember, you're a representation of the company. Okay. So that all falls under Grooming. Oh, we're going to talk. Let me touch on perfumes first before we go over to dress code. But perfumes, you don't know everybody. So therefore, that man or that woman could be allergic to something. So therefore, they want you to be mindful of your perfume and colognes that you wear. Oftentimes, you would smell the man before they even walked into the room because of his cologne, or you smell the lady before she walks into the office because of her perfume. That means, ma'am, sir, too much. You want to cut back on it. I'm not saying you can't smell good coming to work. Just know how much you need to put on. That's all. But that all falls under the grooming policy. So if you're not certain about your grooming policy that you have at your place of business, go see your HR department. Better yet, check your handbook that you signed and probably didn't read. But they can actually discipline you over it. Um, let's talk about dress codes. Know the difference between business and business casual. Depending on your place of business, ma'am and sir, there is a difference when it comes to business, straight suits, tie. Business casual, you can actually put on a pair of jeans with a blazer and some heels and a nice pair of men and a nice pair of shoes. That would be considered business casual. They may say business casual in the office and you can only wear jeans on Fridays. But be mindful of the jeans. They don't want them skin tight. They don't want them sagging on your butt. No, because it's still a place of business. Can they write you up? Yes, because you're not following the policy. Don't get mad because you're a representation of the company, you're a representation of yourself. If you're a small business owner, if you do not have a grooming policy, you need to give ABC a call, 501-291-1650, or send us an email at abc@abchr101.com. All of this information, I will be more than happy to sit down and we can talk about it. But I want to make sure that you guys understand when the company decide to hire you or not hire you, what are you representing? Who are you presenting to them? If you're not willing to make the necessary changes to get the job, then guess what? You may not get the job. They're going to talk about your necklace. They're going to talk about the rings, how many you have on your finger. All of that goes with your grooming. They're going to talk about earrings. It used to be that this is all they ever wanted was your little beads. They didn't want the big ones. They would say maybe a dime size or quarter size for an earring. They don't want the pins. Not if they're visible, unless you're working in a tattoo parlor, that's something different. But consider where you're going to work. If you're going to work downtown in an office, 9 times out of 10, they don't want you with your tattoos all up around your neck. They probably gonna ask you, hey, can you cover those up? Or they may not interview you at all. They'll find a reason. Let's be mindful of how we're showing up and who we're representing and how we represent. I'm not saying that there's not a company out there that will not hire you, but let's make sure we're showing up and we're representing ourselves well in order to get hired. But they may ask you again, can you cover up your tattoos? Are you willing to take out your nose ring? Because that's not business to them. Because they're looking for individuals who can complement their company. And that's what you want, someone who is going to represent your company well. And if you know that you're willing to make the necessary changes, then make them. Last week we talked about hair color. Pick a color that's going to complement you. I'm not saying you can't have your hair colored, but I shouldn't see your hair before I see you. I told you, I got color in my hair. but I know what works for me. Just know what works for you and what's going to complement you, and nothing is going to impede you getting a job if that's what you're trying to do. If you say, well, I want to work for myself, okay, but who's your clientele and who are you trying to reach? Let's be mindful of all of it across the board. But I only come here for about 15 minutes to give you all this good old information. But it is so much more to come. And if you would like more information, guess what? Like, comment, tag, and share. And if you're going to watch this on the replay, thank you all so very much. But please remember that you can give ABC a call. That's Ada Brooks Consulting at 501-291-1650. Or you can send us an email to abc@abchr101.com. Please be sure and look out for AB's Corner. It's on the way. And we're making updates to our website, so you'll be able to go and get all this information and some additional information so you can book us on off the website as well. I am excited, and I want you all to get excited too. Until next week, I am Ada Brooks with Ada Brooks Consultant. I will see you next Thursday again. Please, happy Mother's Day early to all the mothers. Enjoy your mothers this weekend. If your mother has gone on and your grandmother is still here, love on her. Find you a godmother to love on. Appreciate them. Give them their flowers while they are still here. And one last thing, remember, if you have not ordered or gotten your Mother's Day gift, I am a Color Street independent stylist. I have some nail sets on hand, and you can DM me, and I will meet you to get those. I can't give you a link, but I can take what you have and make it very pretty and beautiful. Until next week, I am Ada Brooks with Ada Brooks Consulting. Have a great evening. Bye.